Prince Harry is in a brand new war with King Charles as the palace is calling him out for lying about his recent Canada trip. Hey up everyone, it's me, Stef The Alter Nerd, your nerdy alternative, and welcome to the Dose the Daily Nerd, where I break down the royal news and gossip of the day that's pretty much caught me eye. And oh my goodness, yeah, let's jump into this madness, shall we? Because Prince Harry is in a brand new war with King Charles, as the palace is literally calling him out for lying about his recent trip to Canada. So here's the headline right here from the Daily Mail. Prince Harry did not tell Buckingham Palace about his Canadian trip to meet veterans before he and Megxie partied with the Kardashians the night before Remembrance Sunday. And so here the article is saying that Prince has reportedly failed to tell the palace about his trip to Canada to meet the veterans. Hazza, should I say, met with veterans during a solo trip to Toronto to mark Armistice Day, as the rest of the royal family took part in the National Service of Remembrance at the Cenotaph in London. He met veterans taking part in a creative arts programme at Toronto Sunnybrook Hospital, spoke to soldiers from the Queen's Own Rifles of Canada and the Royal Regiment of Canada, blah, 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 right? But now it's emerged, according to the Times, the Prince has failed to inform the royal family about his trip to Toronto, despite claiming that he had done so. So Hazard's turning around and saying, no, I told the palace, I told the king that I was going to Toronto, this, that and the other. The palace is turning around and saying, hell no, he didn't tell us. He didn't tell us at all. A source telling the Times that, quote, it was a bit rum to claim the palace had been forewarned about the trip, when aides at both Buckingham Palace and Kensington Palace had no knowledge of the trip before it was announced. So, if Buckingham Palace and Kensington Palace had no knowledge of the trip for Hazard to Toronto before it was announced, then how can it be true when Hazard turns around and said, I told them about the trip before it was announced? There's a clear contradiction here. One of them's lying. And let me put it this way to you. I don't think it's the palace that's lying here. I really, really do not. Okay? When we look at, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, Hazard's history with the truth, right? I don't think he'd recognise the freaking truth if it smacked him across the face, jumping up and down naked, saying, I'm the truth, I'm the truth, I'm the truth, I'm the truth. I'm just saying, right? I'm just saying. But this is the thing. Hazard is maintaining, regardless, right, of the palace exposing him for allegedly lying about his recent Canada trip, Hazard is still maintaining that he did inform them about this particular trip. Like, he dude needs to change the record, really, at this point. The thing is, when he's asked about specifics, it's like, okay, you told the palace about your trip to Toronto before it was announced. Okay, who did you speak to? Who did you actually tell? Well, as the Express says here, interestingly, Hazard's office refused to reveal when the courtesy warning was given and to whom. This is the thing, right? And think about it this way. If you were in a similar argument with someone where you turned around and you said to them, look, I spoke to your secretary and I told them that I was going to go on this trip, this, that, and the other, right? You wouldn't just turn around and you'd say, like Hazard, no, I informed him and that was it. No. You'd want to naturally prove that you did by providing specific information. by turning round and saying, no, actually, I spoke to so-and-so on this day, here's my phone, here's the phone log, this, that and the other, we spoke for about a couple of minutes, and I said X, Y and Z, blah, 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 blah. You'd go into detail to prove via the details that what you're saying is true. The fact that Hazard's office is refusing when he warned them allegedly, and who he spoke to allegedly when he warned them, to me, is red flag city all over. And just maintains my belief that the palace ain't lying here at all. That Hazard is the liar, liar, pants on fire dude. Now, the timing of all of this has been called out as being extremely striking, because the royal family is still grappling with the fallout of the whole Andrew Epstein scandal. And now Hazard is providing yet another issue for the royal family to deal with. As the Express says here, instead of showing how much of an asset he once was, he's angering the powers that be by hijacking Prince William's most important week of the year, the Earthshot Prize, and then appearing to lie about it. It may well be that the Toronto trip was long in the planning, but why not keep the palace in the loop about it? But here we are again, with briefings and counter-briefings and the underlying frustrations from both camps. Harry has long said he wants to reconcile with his father and wider royal family. And if he's really set on that, he must ensure his office are working with and not against the palace machine. But we've seen this time and time again. Whenever the royal family is doing something big and major, Hazard and Megxie have to come in with a freaking bulldozer and try and overshadow the full lot. All I'm going to say is this, right? For the most upcoming recent example of all of this. When is Megxie's With Love Meghan Christmas special coming out on Netflix? And then tell me when Princess Catherine's Together at Christmas Carol concert is going to be shown on TV. Answers down below in the comment section. Thank you very much. And I've just proven my point right there if you actually do that, guys. Now, some reactions to this, but the one that I actually want to really focus on here is Brittany's from Royal News Network here on X saying the following. Look, the answer is easy. His team lied. It's not difficult. Harry has this self-destructive need to justify himself. He's not a working royal anymore and just needs to get a real job. I would say so, but even with him having a real job at the moment, with Better Up, no one knows what he's doing there anyway, if he's actually doing anything. Do you know what I mean? Hazard needs to give up the fantasy of being a working royal because he's not a working royal anymore. And whenever he tries to attempt it, it doesn't end well for him. It really, really doesn't. To the point where he's now got this issue at hand. Where he's turning around and saying, no, I told the palace. I forewarned them about my trip to Toronto, this, that and the other. The palace is turning around and calling BS on all of that. I know who I believe, and it definitely ain't Hazard. With that being said, if you appreciated this video and you want more, and of course there's going to be more, then make sure you subscribe to join our Alter Nerd tribe here on YouTube. If you're watching on X, make sure you're following me at Stef Alter Nerd for more misadventures of the gruesome twosome. Like, share, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. Do you believe the palace when they say that Hazard never warned them about his trip to Toronto? Or do you believe Hazard when he says that he did warn them? Like I said, I believe the palace, but what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. I appreciate all your faces. And until the next time, you guys, laters.